The legend is returning to Santos. Neymar Jr. will be going back to Santos where it all began for his career after 11 years leaving the club. Let's break it down. The legend, the king, whatever you want to nickname Neymar. Yes, he's had a terrible time at Al Hilal with the injury of his ACL, then coming back and having the hamstring injury. But going back to Santos is a brilliant news, and it's just gonna fever so much energy and eyeballs onto the Brazilian league. So we're gonna talk about both aspects: Neymar returning and what does this mean for the Brazilian league. So the news came from Cesar Luis Merlo, who says Neymar ready to return to Santos. The club where he made his debut already has an agreement with a 32-year-old footballer, and basically he will terminate his contract with Al Hilal, and once Santos get promoted, it is all but done. So it looks like Neymar is actually going to return to Santos, which is just incredible. Like, to rejoin your boyhood club. And Neymar's still 32. He's gonna have a lot of years to go. Yes, he suffered a ton of injuries, which is horrible for him, but going back to Santos, I think is just awesome. I really do. Yeah, he could easily maybe go to Flamengo or Palmeiras, to another Saudi club, to MLS, but going to your boyhood club. And remember, people, Santos got relegated last year for the first time ever in the club's history, and now they've been playing in the Serie B this season. They are in first place and they are already guaranteed to get promoted, so Santos will be back in the Brasileiro. This is just awesome. What this kind of signifies, in my opinion, is Santos are ready to compete, and maybe they don't have the best squad, and we're going to have to see that, because if you look at the Brasileiro, people, I mean, Botafogo are spending money. Obviously, Flamengo keeps spending money. You still have the likes of Palmeiras and so many. It is, for me, the most competitive league in the world. There with Serie A, Brasileiro is right up there. So for the league, I think this is going to draw in more TV deals, more eyeballs, and this is exactly what they want, because the Brazilian league has just been getting better and better and better. And I'm going to have another separate video on the dominance of the Brasileiro over the Copa Libertadores. But this is just going to bring in more revenue for the entire league, not just for Santos. And for Neymar, look, he's 32. Is he the same Neymar, the young kid who was an absolute demon, just destroying careers? You remember that game he had against Ronaldinho at Flamengo? For me, that was prime Samba football. Yeah, you can talk about the early 2000s, late 90s, but that game, I just still see it in my memory where they were just both showcasing the absolute talents they were. Can Neymar bring that back to the Brasileiro? Maybe, but the league is so competitive. Every weekend, you're going to have a tough game against either Bragantino, or if they get relegated, or Fluminense, or whatever team, Grêmio. There's so many competitive teams in the Brasileiro. So I think for competitive-wise, this is really good for Neymar. If he wants to play at the next World Cup, this is the league to go to. Yes, the Saudi league is improving and improving, but the Brasileiro is at a whole different level at the moment. So for the Brazilian league, I think it's just amazing news. There's just going to be so many people, and you know people are going to invest and watch Neymar. Neymar and Santos is just prime football for a lot of fans. For me especially, you know, when we talk about generational talents, Neymar at Santos was a generational talent, people. The stuff he was doing, the skills, the embarrassment he was doing to opponents was just disgusting. You know how many goals he had? He had 225 appearances for Santos in 5 seasons, 136 goals. And he won a Copa Libertadores with Santos. He won the Copa Brazil. He won the Campeonato Paulista. He won so many trophies for Santos. And Santos since then, yeah, they kind of were competitive still in the Copa Brazil and other competitions. But now we're going to see Neymar return when they get back to the Brasileiro. Awesome. Just like, this is just football, people. And for many people who say football is dead, well, you all saw Neymar at Santos. Now, is it the same Neymar anymore? No, he doesn't have that sort of pace in his game. You're still going to see the same skill. You're going to see the same Samba skills that was on show earlier in his career. So what does this mean for Neymar then, right? I think for Neymar, going back to Santos maybe is the best thing. He's going to have to rediscover his joy for football, in my opinion. I think for him, it's just been such a struggle the last couple of years. You know, at PSG, obviously losing the Champions League final. Ever since that moment, it's kind of been downward spiral for him. Then he obviously makes the move to Saudi. Also the World Cup in 2022 when he actually performed, but his side didn't perform in the quarterfinal against Croatia. He makes the move to Saudi and it's been an utter disaster. It's really been sad for him there. So maybe going back home, going back to your home club is exactly what he needs. He needs to get back in shape. He needs to play competitive football week in and week out. And the allure and the guy he is, that is Neymar Jr., when he goes back to Santos, people are going to watch him. So preparing for the 2026 World Cup. And now we see finally, because Dorival is such a brain dead manager, he's actually calling up Brazilian league players. You see Igor Jesus, you see Luis Enrique, you see Gerson for Brazil during this window. That's exactly what they need, Brazil. They need to call up the Brazilian league players because they're actually quality players. This league is so good. So for Neymar, I don't think this has any jeopardy for him with the national team. Absolutely none. Maybe this will help him be even more prepared for the next World Cup. Because the World Cup in 2026 is the last chance. That is the serious last dance. Similar to Messi in the last World Cup, Neymar in 2026, it's your last chance to add the 6-star here, to join the legendary club of Brazilian players that have won the World Cup. So this is just, you know, for football fans and people who really enjoy South American football. Maybe Santos will get back to the Copa Libertadores in a couple of years. You're going to see Santos play in Bolivia against one of the strongest, or you're going to see him play in Quito, or you see him play in Colombia or Chile against Colo Colo. You're going to see Neymar back in South America. I cannot wait for the compilations. I cannot wait to see him put that jersey back on and just to see the joy he has. And I'm pretty sure Santos fans are going to go absolutely mental when he returns in January. Because then the league starts in March or February, if memory serves me right. It's one of those 2 months. So the Brazilian league, you know, we see a lot of people now catching an eye onto it, what they're doing in Brazil. Because now they have more private owners. You see John Textor owning Botafogo. The league is just getting better, people. And now we're going to see more viewership because of Neymar. That's the sort of player he is. He's going to draw the eyeballs. He's going to draw the viewership. So I think everybody in Brazil is going to be ecstatic with this news. And for Neymar, I think he's going to be ecstatic as well. I think for him, it's just about, all right, I've done everything in my career. And people saying that he's had an underrated career or he hasn't had the career that we maybe thought of. Okay, he hasn't won a Ballon d'Or. He has still won Champions Leagues. He still has performed Brazil. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, he hasn't performed for Brazil. Yeah, he hasn't won a Copa America or a World Cup. I get that, but he has performed for them. He's performed for PSG, performed for Barcelona, performed for Santos. The only club he didn't perform for is Al Hilal because he was injured. So I'm pretty sure people are going to watch him back at Santos and be like, that's the guy. That's the talent he is. 32 years old. Maybe he's got, let's say, 3 to 4 years. Maybe he'll go play the rest of his career in the MLS with Inter Miami or something like that. But heck, what do you think, people? This is great news for football. This is great news for the Brazilian League. This is great news for Neymar Jr. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Remember to join the Discord. Remember to follow me on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram, all those links in the description down below. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time. Adios.
Explain something.